Hi everyone, this is my name. My name is Antoinette, and I'm here to tell you about my story for His glory. How God delivered me from a life of homosexuality. And ever since I said I was going to come and tell this story, the enemy has been coming after me every way that he can to try to stop me from telling my story. But I'm here today to tell you my story because he don't know who he's messing with. He don't know who I am in the Lord. So I'm going to tell my story for His glory. When I was at the age of 19 up to 29 years old, I lived a life of homosexual in full force. But let me tell you how it started. From in the beginning, I was looking for love from my mother, not knowing that it would lead me to a life of homosexuality. You know, my mother lived in Baltimore, Maryland, and I didn't see her for certain times or certain holidays and everything. So we never had that closeness that a daughter and a mother would have. So I always looked for other places and other people, which I didn't get right away. But when I went to New York to visit my godparents, I met one of their daughters, and she showed me that she cared, took me places, did things with me. So I began to fall in love with her, not knowing that it was homosexuality, but it happened that way. So when I stayed up there and everything, her father, not knowing, tried to rape me. And then in doing it to the course of life, I had an uncle who tried to mess with me. The boy that I went to high school with, his father tried to mess with me in the wrong way. So that kind of like turned me from men at that particular moment. So by me looking for the love of my mother, and men turned me off, not knowing it was a life of homosexuality, but it was. You know what I'm saying? So as the time went on, I began to get wide open with it. I began to drink, go out and party. I was my brother, whom I loved, but he was my half-brother. He said, ain't nowhere in the world. And he didn't really care that much about me because he was messed up in his mind because he wanted me himself. So he told me, say, ain't nowhere in the world you can love a woman and don't have sex with her. But I did love her and I didn't think about having no sex with her. So he made a proposition. He was kind of bossy and told me, say, you know, you can get together with this woman and I'm going to see this and everything. I kind of like respected him and listened to what he said. So that's when I got real wide open with it. Because once I did that, then I really got living the life of homosexual in full force. You know, what I'm saying is I went to churches. Nobody told me about the life of homosexuality. I went to different places. The way I dressed and everything, nobody didn't say nothing about it. So I thought that what I was doing was right and what everybody else was doing was wrong. So that's why it's kind of hard, I think, for some of y'all out there to give up homosexuality because you think you're right and everybody else is wrong. But that's not true. God knew what He was doing when He made man and He made woman. What are you telling God, that He's a liar? That He didn't know what He was doing when He made man and He made woman, what He was doing. But we don't know what we're doing. It's a life of abomination, and you'll go straight to hell. You don't even know you're going until you get there. So you got to give up this life of homosexuality because it's not real. Let me tell you something. When I went to Bound for Blessing ministry, I found out that people love you for who you are and what you are. And I opened up my heart to God, not to man, and let God come in my heart. And He changed my life all the way around. He changed my way of thinking. And you got to let God change your way of thinking. You got to let Him get in your mind and change your mind. Because what you got in your mind, He'll mess you up. He'll send you straight to hell. Let me tell you something. He'll change your way you want to dress. He'll change everything about you. Because when you're in sin, you can't see it. But once you deliver, you begin to see what you're really doing is wrong. He'll let you see the devil for himself. But He don't want you to see it right now because He wants to kill you. He wants you to go straight to hell with Him. But let me tell you, there is a deliverance in the life of homosexuality. There's a deliverance in whatever it is that you think you want or what you need. But let me tell you something. I'm telling this story for His glory because of the fact that, and all the times that when I was living in the life of homosexuality, I had different affairs where I thought it was all right to get married. Now that God has changed my life, now they said it's okay for two women to get married. But let me tell you something, it ain't nowhere around my heart that I would even think to marry a woman or think right now to do anything that's not right with God, because of the fact that He has brought me through so much. He done brought me through a lot of things, not only homosexuality, but a many things He has brought me through. And by we knowing that God is a deliverer, you got to give this up because it's not right. It's not of God. Let me say something to you. The only way you can change and give up the life of homosexuality, you got to open up your heart and let God come in. Whatever it is that you're going through to cause you to think that you're supposed to be a man or think that you're supposed to be a woman, you got to let God come into your heart and give Him your whole heart, surrender to Him, and watch and see what He can do for you. Watch the change that He do in your life. You ain't gonna want to go back to that life and do the things that you're doing right now. You can give it up like I gave it up. And that's the reason why I want to tell you my story for His glory.